Hello, today I'm going to show you how to create this gift box. Let's open a new document, set the stroke to none and the fill to blue. Now press the letter M for the rectangle tool and draw a big square. Let's create a copy. Press the Ctrl and C keys on your keyboard to copy it and Ctrl F to paste it in front. Let's change the color of the top square to yellow. And we have two squares on top of each other. With the top square still selected, press and hold down the Alt key and then click on this anchor point, hold and drag to change its width. This will be our ribbon. Let's duplicate this shape. Ctrl C to copy and Ctrl F to paste it in front. Next, move your cursor to the top and hover over one of the corners until you see the double-sided arrow. Now click, hold and drag. While you are dragging your mouse, hold down the Shift key to rotate it by 45-degree increments. Switch to the Selection tool and select everything. Now press the Ctrl and G keys on your keyboard to group it together. Be sure not to skip this step. With everything still selected, open the 3D and Materials window. If you can't see it, go to Window and choose 3D and Materials. Now select Extrude. Here we can adjust the rotation by using the widget or the sliders. Let's choose the isometric tap option from the presets and tilt it up just a little bit. Let's adjust the depth as well. This is going to be the top of our box. Next, click on this arrow to open the render settings and turn on the ray tracing. Be sure the render as vector option is selected and then click render. Now go to Object and choose Expand Appearance. Let's close this window. Now right-click and choose Ungroup. This creates a non-native art at the top and many paths. Let's select the non-native art image, move it up, and lock this layer. We will keep it for reference. Next, we will recreate this box by connecting some of the paths together and deleting the unwanted ones. Click on the top cross to select it and then swap the fill in the stroke. Next, go to Layers, scroll down, click on the layer with this black shape, hold and drag it to the top just below the non-native art layer. Let's create a copy. Lock the top layer and turn off its visibility. We will use it later. Next, select the bottom shape and while you are holding down the Shift key, select the top 4 squares. Now go to Pathfinder and choose Unite. Switch to the eyedropper tool and click here to get the same color sample. Next, we will delete the unwanted anchor points. With this blue shape still selected, either double-click on it to switch to the isolation mode, or right-click and choose Isolate Selected Path. Now switch to the Direct Selection tool to see all anchor points. Next, we will leave only the corner anchor points and remove everything else to keep our drawing clean. To do this, press the letter Q for the lasso tool or select it from the toolbar panel. Now draw a closed path to select all unwanted anchor points. Next, go to Object, Path and select Remove Anchor Points. To exit the isolation mode, click on this arrow several times or press the Escape key on your keyboard. Let's turn on the visibility of the cross layer and lock this blue shape layer. Next, we will create the left edge of the box. We could select desired shapes like we did before. Sometimes, however, it can be difficult to select them. In this case, we can select everything, then go to the Shape Builder tool, pick a different color and connect shapes together. Let's connect these two, these three, pick a different color and connect these two as well. Be sure none of the shapes have a stroke. We can select all of them here or from the Layers panel. Now change the stroke to none. Next, we'll delete the unwanted empty paths. To do this, first select one of the empty paths and then go to Select, Same and choose Appearance. Now press the Delete key on your keyboard. If you still see any strokes, select a desired shape and remove the stroke. Let's copy the red shape. Click on this layer, hold and drag it into the Create New Layer icon. And let's lock the top red shape. Now select all three shapes. Then go to Pathfinder and choose Unite. Bring the fill to the front and change its color. Next, right-click and choose Isolate Selected Path. And switch to the Direct Selection tool. Let's remove the useless anchor points. Press the letter Q for the lasso tool and select the unwanted anchor points. Then go to Object, Path and select Remove Anchor Points. Let's zoom in, switch to the Delete Anchor Point tool and delete this anchor point as well. Press the Escape key on your keyboard to exit the isolation mode. Next, unlock the non-native art layer, select it and delete it. Let's unlock all layers. Next, we'll create the bottom part of our box. Let's select this blue shape and duplicate it. Now lock the top shape and with the bottom shape still selected, right-click on it and choose Isolate Selected Path. Switch to the Direct Selection tool and select these two bottom anchor points. Then press the down arrow key on your keyboard several times to extend this side. Next, we'll trim the left side to make it a little narrower. To do this, switch to the Rectangle tool and draw a long and narrow rectangle that will overlap the left side of this shape. Now select both shapes and then go to Pathfinder and choose Minus Front. Let's exit the isolation mode. Select this shape and apply a different fill color. Let's extend the bottom side of the red shape. First, be sure it is selected and then right-click and choose Isolate Selected Path. Now switch to the Direct Selection tool, select the bottom anchor points and press the down arrow key on your keyboard several times to extend this shape to the bottom of the yellow shape. Let's zoom in and turn on the outline mode to see if all anchor points are aligned. If they are not aligned, select a desired anchor point with the Direct Selection tool and bring it down or up. Be sure to hold down the Shift key to constrain. Turn off the outline mode and exit the isolation mode. Next, we'll create a shadow. Select the yellow shape and create a copy. Let's change the fill to black. Isolate this layer like we did before. Select the bottom anchor points and move them up just below the blue shape. Let's exit the isolation mode. With these two anchor points still selected, use the up or down arrow key on your keyboard to adjust the position. Next, we'll create one more shadow on the side of the red shape. Let's copy the red shape and change its fill to black. Now move the layer with the black shape below the layer with the red shape. Click away to deselect, switch to the selection tool, and move this anchor point to align with the bottom of the yellow shape. Turning on the outline mode will help us to better see what we are doing. Double-click on the black shape to turn on the isolation mode. Select these two anchor points and move them down. Exit the isolation mode. Next, go to Layers, move this black shape down and make sure both black shapes are selected. Now go to Pathfinder and choose Unite. Be sure all layers are unlocked. And finally, we will recolor our artwork. Select the top blue shape and change the fill to dark red. Select the black cross and apply a golden gradient. If you would like to create the same gradient as mine, here is the color group I'm using. With the top ribbon selected, switch to the eyedropper tool and click on this gradient to get a color sample. Now press and hold down the Alt key and then click on this red shape to apply the same gradient. Press the letter G to show the gradient annotator on the screen and adjust the gradient's direction. And do the same with the side ribbon. Switch to the eyedropper tool again. Get a sample of the red color. Press and hold down the Alt key and apply the same color to the blue and yellow shape. Let's select the shadow. Open the transparency window and turn down the opacity to about 30%. Next, select all the shapes that make up the left side of the box. The top shape, the ribbon, the shadow and the bottom part. Now press the Ctrl and G keys on your keyboard to group them together. Next, we will reflect it to the other side. Press the letter O for the Reflect tool and single-click on this anchor point. Now click on this group, hold and drag. While you are dragging your mouse, press and hold down the Shift and Alt keys to create a copy. Next, we will adjust the brightness. Select the left side group and then open Recolor Artwork from the top toolbar. If your window doesn't show all these options, be sure to select the Advanced Options button. Now click on this icon and select Global Adjust. Let's move the brightness slider to about -50 and then click OK. Now select the right side group, go to Recolor Artwork, choose Global Adjust and move the brightness slider to 50. Finally, we will add a shadow to the bottom. Let's copy the top shape and move it to align with the bottom anchor point and change its fill to black. Switch to the Add Anchor Point tool and click on this path to add an extra anchor point. Click on it and drag it down to align with the left anchor point. Click on it again and drag it right to align with the top anchor point. Now click on the top anchor point and drag it up to align with the top left anchor point. Let's move this shape to the back. Either go to Layers and drag this shape to the bottom, or right-click, choose Arrange and Send to Back. Now switch to the Selection tool. Click away to deselect. Let's grab this anchor point and align it with this one. If you wish to make your shadow shorter, first switch to the Direct Selection tool, select this anchor point and these two. Now press the right arrow key on your keyboard a few times. If you wish, change the fill to gray. Thanks for watching, bye bye.